Professor Habib Dagher is a man on a mission to bring affordable and sustainable wind power to the US East Coast. He's building the first offshore wind farm in North America that will float in the deep waters off the coast of Maine and provide energy for the state and cities further afield like Boston and even New York.
We're replacing gasoline in our cars with clean electricity coming off the Gulf of Maine. It would be replacing heating oil to heat our homes with clean electricity coming off the Gulf of Maine.
Test models have performed well in laboratory tests, but the real turbines will have to stand up to the bleak weather in this region, where there's said to be enough wind to power the whole of the US 4 times over. This is the island of Monaghan. It's just under 20 kilometres off the coast of mainland Maine, and it's off this island, out at sea, that the proposed wind farm will be. Europe has led the way with offshore wind farms, but in the US, where there's not even a formal energy policy, critics fear the cost of development will be passed on to the consumer.
It doesn't happen in a vacuum. Since it does cost more, ultimately somebody has to pay the cost. Either the government, if it's got a lot of money, or the consumers, if they have a lot of money, or even if they don't, because their bills are going to go up to pay for it, since it is more than double and in sometimes triple the cost of other forms of energy.
And we have
Dr. Dagher says finding alternatives to fossil fuels is essential and already a $200 billion industry around the world. But just in case things go wrong, Maine's offshore wind project is being phased in over 20 years.
It's a walk before you run approach that will reduce those risks. Can you eliminate risk from anything you do? You can't. But can you reduce it and measure it? And that's what we've done in our program. So we've reduced it and we've measured it.
The giant parts of a wind turbine lie in the test lab waiting to be put through their paces. But it's out here that they'll need to perform well if Maine is to become what many in this state are fond of referring to as the Saudi Arabia of wind power. John Terrett, Al Jazeera, Bangor, Maine.